everyone, I have gotten a few requests on how to do contouring, so I'm going to do a quick tutorial on that. There's so many ways to do it, so many products you can use. You can use your powders, your liquids, your foundation, your concealer, your eyeshadow, your blush, bronzer, everything. And I can't possibly show you all the combinations of products to use, so I'm going to give you a really quick tutorial just with a handful of products, and then you can kind of interchange what you have at home. First, just some general tips on contouring. Contouring just helps give your face definition. So you really want your cheeks to stand out, you want your eyes to stand out. You don't want it to look like just a flat piece of paper, pretty much. So you want to add some dimension, some 3D to your face. So get to know your face. There's high planes and low planes. So when I say high planes, right here on the cheekbones, along the bridge of your nose, along the brow bone, these are all high planes. And then when I say low planes, then that's like the deeper parts. So when you feel mostly tissue. So right underneath your cheekbones, right here in your crease, actually alongside of your nose, these areas are where you, the low planes where you would actually apply darker color. So in the high planes, you actually highlight. So keep that in mind. High planes highlight. So that's where you would apply some of the lighter colors. So some of your shimmeries, your blush. For example, the brow bone, a lot of times is where we highlight our eyebrow. You could use a shimmery eyeshadow. You could use a light colored eyeshadow, light colored concealer. So many different products. So highlight, high planes. Now then when it comes to the deeper parts of your face, that's where you would put some of the deeper colors. So you could use darker foundations, you can use darker blushes, you can use darker powders. Up here you're going to use darker eyeshadows, and get to know your textures because you're going to be mixing a lot. So generally with textures, you want to keep everything in the deep planes matte. So when I say matte, that means no shimmer, little to no shimmer in it at all. And then for the high planes, for highlighting, you actually, if you want shimmer to your face, then that's where you would use the shimmer. So you would use like your bronzer, if there's shimmer in it, or any kind of shimmery pigment, you would use in the high planes. So for this demonstration, I'm just going to use a handful of products, probably just a few powders, concealers, and a few liquids. I'm going to do half of the face so that you can see the difference. Just to get a general idea, I'm right now at my darkest, so I'm about an NC 45 in MAC makeup, and their foundations, so I'm going to go really extreme with these colors so that you can really see the definition. So I'm using a pretty light concealer. I think this one's NC 20 for all my high planes. I'm also going to use strobe liquid. I'm not sure if MAC still has this. I think they do. But it's kind of like an iridescent liquid for the highlights also. And then for the deep planes, for my deep color, I'm going to use this Sculpt and Shape powder. Use the deeper color. I'm actually going to use some deep concealer too. I'm going to blend it in. So I'm going to start with the eyes. I'm going to use this NC 20 concealer. I'm going to do this side of the face. And again, remember, I'm going extreme so that you can really see. I'm going to leave that there. So this is my highlight. I'm actually going to add a little bit of strobe liquid in here. So again, strobe liquid is this, gives you a little bit of an iridescent shimmer. I don't know if you can see it. I'm actually going to use a brush. Just a fluffy brush. And take it right around the eye. So it kind of looks like you're being lit from this side. I'm also going to brush it along the brow bone. And then just with what's left on my brush, I'm going to brush the jawline. And you can already see the light is bouncing off because of the iridescence. Okay. And now for my deep, I'm going to use this deep color. And if I use the powder for my cheeks, for this deep part, I like to apply it to the side of the brush because it's more dense here and fluffy here. So you're going to get a higher color payoff down at the bottom and then a little bit more blended out at the top. So then you would apply it the same way. So you have more definition towards the bottom, and then it starts to blend in with where you're highlighting. So you can see, if you look at the side, you can see how this is exaggerated and defined more, and this just looks like a plain sheet. And then I get to take this darker color up even more, just right at the temples. You can already see, look at this side, kind of plain, and the side has that definition. And the big key to contouring is blending, so that you don't just have color splotches on your face. Make sure you have good brushes, nice fluffy brushes, to really blend everything together. So I have the deep color here, it blends in right here with the light, with the highlighting. And then I'll continue with the eyes.